I hate that I can't trust people. Like I feel like I give people chances, but I don't trust them secretly. And it's not like I don't trust them to do the right thing. I don't trust them to ever think positive thoughts about me. I think everybody knows, even though that's not real. Nobody knows what I've done or haven't done in my life. Well, I guess now they do. but but I feel the constant judgment. It's self-induced. It's not real. I mean, yes, I bet if my family found out I was drinking that there would be this constant judgment. I already feel it. I feel like such an outcast from my family. Terrible outcast. I feel like nobody wants me. And just with everything that's happened, it's like I don't know if it's a self-fulfilling prophecy or what, but it really feels that way every day. Like it's so depressing to feel like you're the only one. That's why I really got attached to Marina and the Diamonds. I love listening to her because she talks about like feeling, set apart or, not one in the crowd, right? Which is why, a lot of the gay and lesbian, the LBGQ community, TQ community, loves her because they feel that way too. So I've always felt that way because of my ADHD, but maybe that doesn't get represented enough or people don't believe it's real, but and that's hard. And that's why I have a lot of lesbian friends. That's why I feel like I'm a lesbian in a man's body too. Like I feel like I'm completely out of place, and I make a lot of friends like that are outcast. That people don't believe that it's a real thing. It's like people don't believe being lesbian and gay is real or whatever it is, and just like people don't believe that ADHD is a real thing or maybe depression's all in your head and you can just overcome it and all of that. And I'm a nurse and I've seen differently. And I live every day of my life differently. So I know that it's real. You know? You can understand it all that you want. You can understand every chemical that happens in your brain and every dysfunction that's happening in your brain to cause the imbalance of depression, that causes the imbalance of cortisol, like releasing in your brain. You can understand why your frontal lobe's not fully developed or you've got issues with your limbic system and it's causing other parts of your brain to light up and try to compensate and it's not enough. It's just not enough. And even if you take meds, it's just not enough. I mean, it activates your frontal cortex, but you're just so wired the way you are, especially as an adult with an ADHD brain. It's terribly hard. You just want to go be homeless and give up on life, and you can't because you have kids, and I know so many people that have done it, and I have no judgment for them. I have no judgment for people that have dropped everything. I just I can't do it. It's not in my chemistry. There's no way I can do that. I can see it happening, but I just maybe it's my religion, my belief in God, or whatever it is that's driving me to be there for them. It's a redemption for me, in a way. I mean, I feel terrible for them having to follow my example in my suit, and I don't want them to know anything about me because I don't want them to be so disappointed in me. And the problem is the more they learn about me or the more they know about me, the more they tend to repeat my mistakes, and I hope that's not true. I'm doing my hardest to stay lonely so that I don't repeat the mistakes of my parents or what I deem them as mistakes. They're not mistakes, They married their different people and it didn't work out, It's not necessarily a mistake, but in my mind, I just can't deal with that failure. I can't deal with any more failures in my life because every dang day I feel like I'm failing in some way. And it's lonely and it's depressing and it's empty. It's so empty. You just don't know unless you go through it every day. And how terrible. Honestly, I don't blame you if you don't really believe it. But it's true. And sure, you can say mind over matter, but when you're Your mind is wired differently than other people, and it's so real, it's so true. Go look at the brain scans for the love, people. Anyways, but when you're wired differently, say you're dealing with schizophrenia or you're dealing with bipolar, you know, or you're dealing, talk to somebody with the emotional, baggage and trauma that goes with rape, it changes your brain chemistry. It does. You have a physical change. That physical thing happened, and guess what? You have another physical thing that happened in your brain, and it affects you emotionally for the rest of your life. It takes a lot of work to rewire your brain, build other neural pathways. So for me, I want to do that, but the part of my brain that would allow me to build good neural pathways is the problem. So it's deficient. So how am I able to build efficient, structures or neural synapses or whatever you want to call them? Whether you care to talk about science or not, it doesn't matter. I mean, habits, right? We'll mention habits, right? Habits are those ways, those pathways we build in our brain, those highways, right? Compared to the side roads. Whatever highways we entertain, they become our main paths, our go-tos, our habits. And when you're the part of your brain that's your construction crew, I call it, your frontal lobe construction crew that's in charge of building new highways is broken, well, guess what? You're at the mercy of whatever highways that you fall into a lot of times. And this isn't saying that you're without, that I'm not accountable for my actions. I'm very accountable, so accountable, in fact, that it causes me anxiety and depression and regret. I feel like I'm loaded with sins that I can't get rid of, right? If you're religious, doesn't matter. Sins or mistakes that you can't be redeemed from because you just don't have the wiring to do it sometimes. And yes, I pray a lot. Forgiveness is a real part of my life. I've got a good relationship with God. And I know for me it's a test, it's trying one of those things you overcome in life, and it's just really hard right now. Even with prayer, it feels insurmountable some days. Some days all I have is God, and that's all I can rely upon, so I'm grateful I have that. But some people don't even have that. They have nothing in their life, no higher power. You go to any addiction meeting, they talk about a higher power. Whether you believe in God or not, you gotta find a higher power. Whether it's a cool penguin or something, right? Whatever mask you can put on that you can get behind. That's what I do. Get behind my mask. My power animal, right? The short, squatty, short-armed penguin. Oh, Alex, you're my good friend, my friend. Anyway, yeah. It's a real struggle. Every day. Every dang day.